Yo, how's the audio? Cool. All right. Yeah, let's get to work. We'll figure out what's going on later. You know, with this audio, that anything could happen at any time. Yeah, I'm like running on my phone hotspot still. I asked the hotel, I'm like, hey, are you guys gonna fix the Wi-Fi here? And he's like, buongiorno, buongiorno, fuck off. I'm like, all right. So that's where we're at with that. So mind you, if just like yesterday, if we get a little bit slow during the trading day, we'll shut off one of these videos or audios or whatever and do it the old school way. Now let's get into the market. You know, even though the market has been very hot, we saw finally a little bit of a crack in the system. You could see here, you know, we ended up kind of dumping off a little bit here. And then we like ramped back and we're starting to see some sloppiness in the trading, meaning that no longer, right, are we just like going straight up, that there is, you know, some other things happening and shorts and things like that are starting to come into play. And so you're starting to see, right, like some chinks in the armor on these things. Now, does that mean that this like new version of, you know, the short-term bullish thrust is over? Not necessarily. The 20 SMAs will tell because we haven't really tested those yet. And now we have like so many stocks that are like sitting on it. And so I think that will be the tell, because obviously if you break below that, then now your kind of two short-term moving averages, right, have been broken, meaning you're going to get some deeper pullbacks into, you know, the 50s and things like that. And that's like the one thing we actually don't want to see, because that puts us back into like a range trading environment. And there's nothing worse than a range trading environment. Like uptrend, downtrend, all fun. Like range trading environment, right? It's like going to a party with like your like eight best friends, and there's only two chicks, and you're sitting there like, all right, here we go, right? There's no good option that can come from that ratio, because it's either going to be six people are really annoyed, or there's going to be some Eiffel Towering and things like that, which is also really strange to do. But then sometimes you got no choice, and right, like you're left with no good choices. So we don't ever want to get into those positions. You know, that's going to be a little bit crazy, but you can still see we have some stocks that are still holding up here, you know, that look fairly good still, like Netflix. I think Net still looks pretty good. And then we have a few that I think have pulled back a little bit further, like near those 20 SMAs, like, you know, SQ, which is pulled back $15. So I think these, like if the market's going to bounce, should be juicy. Let's take a look at just the gappers here real quick before we go back into those large cap stocks. We've been trading a lot of these, you know, turds for like the last like week or two. And, you know, that scenario can change too, as we saw like how frothy the market got, and that squeeze on, you know, BB double BY, you know, now that that's kind of deploding or imploding, that's probably going to take a lot of the small caps that, you know, the turd, you know, that turd momentum maybe out of the zone. And we have to go back to trading the large caps, which is fine, right? You know, that's our bread and butter. Anyways, we just took a small detour for a couple weeks to trade in the dark side of the markets. And, you know, but that doesn't last forever. Like we've never done, you know, that's not really our cup of tea anyways. We're not degenerates here, just sometimes. So let's take a look at the earnings plays. And then from there, we'll go and see what's going on. You can see here, this Wolf's got Wolf speed, fiscal, gap loss, blah, blah, blah. So this is an earnings play. You know, the interesting thing about Wolf, like if you go back here, it's a different market, of course. This was like the tail end of, this is the last days of the bull market. You can see here on this particular day, like it gapped up to about 105 on earnings. And by the end of the day, by some point that day, it hit 125. So, 20-point range. And then it had an inside day, and then it had another kind of 20-point range day. And it had this big trend. And so this is actually, I don't know if it's going to have really any liquidity in it, but I think that's actually worth a look just based on its past history of like making these kind of moves. Egg, new egg. That's hot. All right. Oof. You know what? This stock's got a history of making moves too. That could work. This fours as a turd. BJ's. 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 Hey, so this is actually beyond the fun and jokes. This is a breakout to all-time highs. You have a clean break over that 70 triple tappy area. Only 94 million share float on this. And it's like kind of been a hot this type of stock has been a hot sector at times. This is, man, if the liquidity can stay in this, like I think that's you can see this is a breakout to all-time highs. How many stocks are even like that, right? Like there's very few. Like we do a right all-time. New highs. Man, I just made a scan for this too. Oh, 52 times. It's advanced. I got to run it with regular data, but let's add it. I think that's hot too. Blue. Hey, so blue has been running up for like quite some time. A lot of times like stocks like this, like it's been running up already in anticipation of whatever this data that just came out is. A lot of times those fade off. I don't know if this is going to fade off or not. We might not be in that market and environment, but that's like a tried and true tactic. Like, you get the run up and then you get the gap up on the last day and they fade it off. So I'd actually watch for like a big spike on this and, maybe we get a fade on it. TRMD, this is an oil stock. Oil stock suck the trade. See the size of the candles, right? Too small for us. Size matters. Now, CSIQ. Hey, solar companies that have posted earnings, run EMPH, they've SPWR. It hasn't always been that day that it's been like super tradable because a lot of times they just use up a little bit of the range, but there has been follow through in the coming days, and it may have followed through today. We don't necessarily know, but that's the right sector, right time. Like that's better than BJ's, I think, because we know solar stocks move, right? Where BJ's sometimes not, right? Yeah. So CSIQ, this is our bread and butter. I like this one a lot. Cisco Systems. So this will help the tech market too. When you see large cap companies, these 100, 200, 300 billion dollar ones, especially the legacy ones, I would consider Cisco a legacy one. That's usually really healthy for the QQQ. So I think you could probably even trade this if you want. I haven't traded this thing since I had hair like Andrew, which is obviously Richard Grieco over there, but that might work. IONQ top of the list. IONQ top of the list. After the earnings push, you got an inside day, right? And now you kind of retested that earnings day high. We got something on that. That's fucking BVs went to 8, huh? Look at that. So let's do that. Let's add this fucking IONQ to 6 windows. I think that one's got some good juice on it. Oil's just in a big range. So to me, this looks, I don't even know what to really make of it. Is it or like a rounding thing, or is it a bear flag? Like, how does anybody know, right? So that, like, you want to stay away from range. That's not going to work. Hey, Ricky, let me look at this Labu for you. Yeah, you can use this one too. You know, in a good market, the pullback to the 20, remount the 9 is actually that's like actually a setup that we use pretty often. Run, you got another pullback to the breakout spot on this. Like, if so, solars go because of the CSIQ, then I think this one probably holds too. Right. Nice pullback into the 20 SMA. That's also probably, these are probably something, you're right, it's a little bit closer. This one's still got $1 to go. Hot stock, suck the trade. Yeah, I think this one's in a better location because you were basically 11. You down retrace about $3, 25%, give or take. Not bad. Saba had the heat yesterday, man. I don't know who pushed it. All off. It looks like it was just off a fucking, off an insider buy, which is rare. Chief officer added this. See, oh my god, 2,500 shares. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that. It faded off the whole thing. In this market, things are just squeezing, and then at some point the pump is over. Maybe there's a day 2 on it. I'd still keep it on the list. Like, I don't know if it's a huge priority, but man, we forgot about SE yesterday, huh? Oh. I thought that the riot was at a better location than the Mara, but then Mara moves better. But riot actually got to the 20 SMA, where this one is still a little bit of ways. Yes, Cedric, you could trade Cisco. It's a thicker stock, so you just have to be a little bit careful. Like, when you trade something that's a little bit thicker, you want to hit it on the dips intraday, and kind of when the algos turn on, like, keep selling into spikes, reloading dips. Sometimes, like, if you're a pure like breakout trader, then those thicker ones, like, they don't follow through because they don't give you those MPCs. Like, at the breakout spot, you hit the breakout spot, they kind of just grind higher, then they dip back down and test support, and then you're like, oh shit, and you sell, and right, it comes back up. So you just want to make sure, like, you hit it on the pulls, and then you keep flipping out of it, on the pop-ups, and you should be good to go. Let me see meta here, buddy. Yeah, you got a decent pullback on this. This is a little bit range bound too, so it's like kind of, I don't know about that one either, right? That's the prime time. You're at a party with 2 chicks and 8 dudes. NVAX, you could short. The liquidity has been a little bit better now that it's, you know, so much cheaper. So, and the volume has been, you know, more than enough, 5-6 million shares. So yeah, if you need a dumper, that's going to be good. And then you had then you did have the follow through yesterday too. Yeah, why not? Coin to me seems like Coin is one of those ones that's, you know, we've had this a lot in the past over the years, right? Where like Roblox and there's been so many where it's like the flag gets tighter and tighter and we keep trying to fucking rip it every day, you know, and then we end up like losing like 50 cents or a buck like every day for like 5 days. And then like one day when we finally are done with it, it just rips. It's got that kind of feel to it. It's gonna go any day. It's just a matter of, is it hold this 80 spot or not? Yeah. I mean, I'm watching it. Do it. You see this affirms on the 9. UPST's a turd. I mean, it's something's going on with it. It might, it's like grinding, but it's not. I think there's just easier plays out there. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at the downside, what we got here. Those BBWs is down 30%. Shocker, right? Blue water vaccine value platform potential for monkeypox. I mean, it's a big nothing burger. This thing would be back at $2. BBW, right? Now you've got this kind of like head and shoulders look. This probably needs to, you know, have like a big swoosh down. Maybe like try like this mark here, 15. That started the breakout. I believe that started the breakout right there. You know, where it like sped up. So I think like if we could get like a dump off into that spot, then we're at a much better location than, you know, if you're trying it the other ways. Hey Kirk, just went into fuckers. We were fucking around. I was gone by the time this happened. Yeah, this is due for a down day too. Probably leave that alone. Let's kiss apron. Shit. Dun, 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 dun. These are all dead. Good. So we got these PR plays. I think out of the AMD coin on the long side works for us. If we need a short, we've got NVAX, right? And this, you know, some of these other ones, I think we could take them down too if we needed to. But, you know, we can just play the general market in itself. Hey, where's this OSTK? What he was asking about that. Oh, also, right, net looks really good. I think these are the ones that we can kind of hold together. Yeah, PAGS is okay. I think AMD's a lot of these other charts got broke. So like, but AMD's still holding up. Net's still holding up. Like we want to kind of stick with some of these names here. This OSTK, by the way, had a inside day. So now, right, this could be like a day 2. I'd actually add that to like a secondary list somewhere. Fubo caught an upgrade, but I'm not really feeling the action on that one. Overpriced her to 5 from 4. Oh, nice big bet there, buddy. Who knows? I think we might get a little dead cat bounce in this, but this Sava is now really heating up. And I think Neg too is going to be really, Neg could be something juicy too. Whoa. Yes. Dude, this is our, that's going to be our play, I think. The way it's picking up steam just now, that's nice. I'm not sure. We got BJ's. We got Blue. CSIQ. Blue. CSIQ. AMD, Saba, Neg, IONQ. Kind of arrange these properly. Good. Then we got these kind of secondary plays, right? Wolf, BJ's. Blue. These are kind of in some of our daily traders. OSTK, right? We keep an eye on BBY just because if it starts to rip, then we know that we've got some momentum back randomly. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. What do we got? Anybody got anything better? Let me see, buddy. Hold on here. I'm trying to arrange something. Yeah, let's take a look at ZM, buddy. Guys, be careful today, too. There's been a slight deterioration in the tape now. We got to be careful. That easy uptrend is, it doesn't mean it's over, but it's about velocity, right? The velocity of trends can decrease. So, as we've gone vertical, we may be entering a period of consolidation, pullback, or even if we keep going up, but the velocity slows down so that the way you were trading about a week ago will be different than how you may have to do it now. So really watch the tape now and see exactly right what kind of action we're getting. That'll be very good. It'd be nice, Ricky, but what can you do? All right, let's have some fun. Peace, bros. Peace. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you can do it. You can definitely do it.